Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with a Disability Policy for All. Today we'll be talking to Chris Rodriguez, who is the Senior Public Policy Advisor at the National Disability Institute. And today we will be talking about the ABLE Act Resource Center. We have talked about the ABLE Act last year, and now we'll be talking about the Resource Center. So, welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you. The first question I wanted to ask is, can you help the audience remind the audience about what is the ABLE Act?
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea, just to give a quick refresher. So, the ABLE Act is formally known as the Achieving a Better Life Experience Act. It was passed in late 2014 with overwhelming bipartisan support. What it basically does is it allows some individuals with disabilities the opportunity to save funds without jeopardizing their means-tested public benefits.
And when you say some, what do you mean by some?
Absolutely. So there's different types of criteria that would make an individual eligible to open an ABLE account. So an individual would, one, have to have an onset of their disability prior to their 26th birthday. In addition to that, they would be qualified if they are currently receiving benefits under SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income, or SSDI. If they are not receiving benefits under that, they can also apply for getting an ABLE account through what's called a disability certification.
Okay. Thank you. Now we'll be talking about the Resource Center. What is the purpose of the Resource Center?
Absolutely. So my boss, Michael Morris, who's the Executive Director of National Disability Institute, wanted to provide various ABLE stakeholders, including most predominantly individuals with disabilities and their family members, a place where they can go and get basically information, objective information related to the ABLE Act, ABLE programs, and opening ABLE accounts.
Okay. How will the Resource Center help the viewers?
Absolutely. That's a great question. What we're hoping is that individuals who believe that they may be qualified to open an ABLE account would go to the website, which is www.ablenrc.org. They can go in there, they can look and figure out where any given state is in terms of its development of an ABLE program. They can see which states are currently offering accounts, which we hope the first accounts will be available sometime in the next few months. There's informative videos on there that help people understand what are the not only the criteria to be eligible to open an ABLE account, but how the ABLE account is going to assist in helping people save for their futures. It has information related to what are qualified expenses. So it's important to note that the funds in the ABLE account that are put in there by the contributors, of which could also be the person with a disability, can be used for disability-related expenses. And those are going to be expenses for the benefit of the individual with a disability who's the account owner, that helps them maintain or increase their health independence or quality of life. So there's that perspective about it, so they'll understand to a greater extent what ABLE is, how they can benefit from opening an account. We're also going to be able to provide the opportunity for people to look at two accounts or two programs side by side to figure out which program best meets their needs. As you may know, when the original law was passed, in order to enroll into a program, you had to enroll into the program of your particular state. In late 2015, Congress went back and eliminated that, what was called the Residency Requirement. So now, for example, let's say that I'm a qualified beneficiary and I live in Texas. Before, I would have to open an account under the Texas program, but now, as a result of Congress eliminating the residency requirement, let's say, for example, Ohio opens up a program, I, as a Texas resident, could potentially enroll in a program in Ohio. So now it's important for folks to understand what the difference is between one program, say in Ohio, and another program, say in Texas, so that they can figure out which program best meets their needs.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that I missed that you would like to talk about the Resource Center?
Is there anything else? That's a good question. I think it's one of the biggest questions that I think is on everybody's minds. They've waited for, the bill was actually, the original ABLE Act was introduced nearly a decade ago. It took 8 years to get through Congress. And now that it's gotten through Congress, the states are working diligently to be able to get these programs up and running. So the big question is, when can individuals actually begin to enroll in these programs? And I think it's important to note that after so much work from across the country and advocates and self-advocates alike, pushing the legislation and hoping to see these programs come to fruition, we're expecting the first programs to actually open in the next few months. So that's going to be a very, very exciting time as we see people with disabilities for the first time really being able to save money for their futures without having to risk losing some of their very vital federally funded means-tested supports like Social Security and Medicaid. So it's an exciting time. I would encourage folks to sign up for our ABLE alerts. You can do that through the website, and to check in on the website periodically to figure out when exactly these programs are going to launch, and to also follow us on Facebook to get the most up-to-date information.
And can you remind us about what is the address again?
Absolutely. So it's www.able, so that's A-B-L-E, nrc.org. So that's www.ablenrc.org.
Thank you. If you have any more questions about this or any other policy issues, please go to the AUCG webpage and look for this week's in brief. And if you have any questions or comments about this week's Tuesday's list, please leave them in the space below. Thanks and have a nice day. Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks
Bye.
for having me.